Hi Royal Family, Prince Phoenix here and welcome to my channel. So it's been a while since I've done a video, so I apologise immensely. To be honest with you, the only excuse I have is that isolation life. What can I say? Everyone's in it. I've been trying to get into a routine, gone back to work and have been just eating right if I can and doing my daily walks. So that's really all I can say I've been doing. So anyway, let's get into the question. Okay, so the first question, how much have you lost? Okay, the question I get asked a lot from a lot of people, especially online. So I've officially lost 14.8 kilos since my surgery date, which was on the 6th of March 2020, and that is now 7 weeks and 1 day ago. So prior to the surgery, I did lose about 4 kilos on top of that. So I'm not doing too bad. I'm trying to weigh myself once a fortnight-ish. And the last time I did weigh myself where I was 14.8 was about a week and a half ago. So I've probably lost a little bit more since then. But I found that if you kind of weigh yourself weekly and you don't see the numbers move that much, it was getting a little bit disheartening, and I don't think you should be in that mindset. So I've kind of challenged myself to not look at the scales for about a fortnight or whenever I feel is the need to after that period of time. So the next weigh-in will probably be in another week's time. So I'll let you know. Okay. So the next question, what inspired you to do this? Okay, really good question. So my journey kind of started with this about a year and a half ago. I noticed a Facebook advertisement for Destination Beauty that kind of just appeared in my feed. And it was the one that featured Emily Dodds, and I was just really interested in her story. And I thought to myself, I can't afford that. That's not going to be me, or that's too hard. And, surgery was probably the last thing on my mind. So I kind of left it there. Fast forward to October of last year, so about 6 months ago, and one of my very closest friends, Zarin, hi Zarin, decided to go over to do the surgery with Destination Beauty. She told me about it and I knew exactly what she was talking about. And I found myself being educated by her, and that inspired me to kind of, really understand what she was going to go through. Whilst she was over there, we'd message each other every day while she was in hospital, and she was telling me of her experiences and sending me videos, and I became more and more inspired by her. We kind of had this little thing every day when I would say, I'm at 40% sure I want to do this, and she'd then ask me, how much percentage are you today? And I would go 60% and 80%, and then 100% I'm on board. So then I reached out to Destination Beauty and did the quiz that you do online just to kind of assess to see if you are a candidate for the surgery. And once I was approved, I kind of started looking into it. I still wasn't 100% sure at that stage. To be quite honest with you, I was about 98%. So then I looked into it to see if I could actually afford it, and then decided to go overseas to do it. And yeah, that's what inspired me. I also watched a lot of YouTube videos. Emily Dodd, thank you very much for your video. And Lizzie, thank you so much for making her videos and helping her with that. Without you two, I think a lot of us probably would not have taken this route. And I think you guys are amazing. So big shout out to you both. So yeah, once I looked into that, I decided, yeah, I'm on board, and I'm really happy I did. Next question. Was it a tough decision to know you wanted the surgery and then actually follow through? Really good question. So, like I said, there were stages where I was just like, yeah, I think I'm ready, until I got to, I'm 100% ready to go and do this. I think for me, actually follow through was probably hard because there were so many things that kind of popped up, to kind of stop me. No, not really stop me, but just kind of make me think, oh, am I doing the right thing? And I'm one of those people that, is either in it all or no, won't do it. I think there were many stages where I kind of thought, what have I got myself into? I remember when we were driving from the airport to the hotel in the Destination Beauty bus, thinking, am I doing the right thing? Is this for me? Can I back out now? And even at another stage when I was doing the testing, I was like, oh, am I ready for surgery? Because that's when reality actually hits you. You do prepare yourself for it, and I'll get into that a little bit later on. But I think there comes a stage where you're just like, it's happening, can I do this? And I'm glad I did. So yeah, really good question. Thank you for that. Next question. How did your family and friends react when you told them? Okay, really a good one. So the first person I had to tell was my partner, Anthony. He was very apprehensive about, going overseas to get the surgery, and he was scared about the risks. He knows that I have zero tolerance for pain, so he was even more worried about that, I guess. But he was really supportive once I kind of explained why I wanted to do it, and he knows that once I've got my mind set on something, I'm actually going to go and do it. So he supported me 1000%, which is amazing. It's always really important to have that special person really be, supportive and want you to go and do it, and, just know that you can do it and give you that faith that you can believe in yourself enough to conquer that thing that stops you from wanting to do anything in life, really. So yeah, massive thank you to my partner. I know I've thanked him before in these other videos, but I can't thank him enough. After that, I told my parents. My mother was a bit scared about it, but as any parent would be, she was just apprehensive that, going overseas, is that the right thing for me? Why don't I do it in Australia? And when I explained it to her, she became aware of why I wanted to do it and became very empathetic. And she watched Emily's videos with me and then decided, yeah, this is the best thing for you. My dad was just kind of similar. He was just like, well, why do you need to go overseas? I don't think it's the right thing. But he understood and respected my decision, and he's really happy with the way I've been looking after myself and the results I'm getting at the moment. My parents both live interstate, so they don't see me very often. The last time I saw them was the week prior to surgery. So I'm really excited once isolation's over and lockdown's over, I can actually go down to New South Wales and see my parents and show them the results I've gotten so far, or hopefully better then. So yeah, my friends were really supportive. I've got quite a lot of really good supportive friends around me, and I'm really, really happy. I've got a lot of really blunt friends as well, people who are very, will say it to my face, which I really appreciated. And they were really good in kind of making me think to see if this was the right thing for me. But at the same time, very supportive in knowing that, if I was going to do it, I was just going to do it. So I was really lucky to have a good network of friends. So yeah. So thank you all to all my friends. I really appreciate all of you, my work colleagues, my friends, my family. Thank you so much for all your support. Did you hide that you were going to Thailand from anyone? Not really. I think I kind of wanted to keep it to myself quite a bit until just before I was about to fly out. I told quite a lot of people in the lead up because I just wanted people to be aware of certain situations as to why I was doing it. And that's when I decided to make that first YouTube video that I posted. I did make it a month prior to myself flying out, and I was actually going to post it like a month to date. Unfortunately, life kind of got a bit hectic, so I ended up posting it literally the day I was flying out. Because I kind of thought, well, once I fly out, if anyone has any negative comments, I don't have to see it until I go to Bangkok, like 10 hours later. So, but luckily, no, I didn't have any kind of negativity. I've had a lot of support and people reaching out to me and saying, I've done the surgery too, which I would never have known, to be quite honest. So yeah, so I didn't really hide it from anyone, and I decided to make the YouTube videos to kind of just talk about my experiences and what I went through, because I think a lot of people, like to keep to themselves, which is absolutely fantastic, and I understand why people do it. But I think for me personally, I just wanted to share my experience because I found that not a lot of males were doing videos talking about the surgery and their experiences, and so I just kind of wanted to do it just so I can help people understand, my experience and see if that's the best thing for them as well. What did you do in the lead up to surgery? Not just in the diet, but in the mind. Okay, so yeah, I did a lot of research on the surgery itself. So as you guys are probably doing now, for those of you who are pre-op, a lot of YouTube video watching, re-watching those videos over and over again, just to kind of get in the mindset that this is something that's quite real. I read up on the subject matter, and those who I found out had the surgery, I asked questions to, and they were really helpful to prepare my mind. Yeah, that's really what I did. And, I just kept thinking to myself, I kept thinking to myself, I've got to cut down on the food that I'm eating. But at the same time, I quite tried to enjoy the food that I was eating at the same time, knowing I wasn't going to eat that for quite a while. So I'm not going to lie, probably right until a few weeks before I was about to go, I was eating quite a lot of junk food. I was eating a lot of steak, like giant steaks that I loved. Just because I knew they were like, they were just foods that, I had to say goodbye to. My friend Zaren came up with a terminology. I don't know if she invented it, but I'm grateful for her sharing it with me. I had food funerals. So food funerals is where you celebrate the food that you're eating, knowing that you're not going to have it for a long time, if ever again. And it was like a way of saying goodbye to certain things. So like my last big steak I had, I had like, my mushroom sauce all over it, and I enjoyed it. You took each bite and you enjoyed it. So I think that's quite good to say goodbye to things, because that's never going to happen again. I used to be a big Coca-Cola person. I'd have a Coca-Cola at work every day, at least one. The most I probably had was probably 2 or 3, depending on how stressed I was that day. And lots of big coffees as well. So, once I made up my mind that I was going to go to the surgery back in October, I started cutting down the Coca-Colas until I stopped drinking them, which was probably around December. I stopped having them altogether. And I found that helped clear my mind, knowing that I wasn't going to have that again, and it was okay. Big coffees, I didn't really cut down as much. I ended up having big coffees until about a week prior to flying out, and that was okay. But yeah, even on the morning of the surgery, I had one more coffee with a caramel syrup, which I don't have anymore, just to say goodbye, which you probably saw in a previous video of mine. So yeah, have your food funerals, because you need to have that and get your mind ready for it. In terms of diet, just cutting down the foods that you eat if you can. Don't be so hard on yourself, because a lot of people don't go into full diet mode until a few weeks to the surgery date, if not ever. I would recommend cutting down your foods just so that you're ready for it and you know what to expect after the surgery. Also, it helps reduce the fatty liver, so it makes the surgery easier for the surgeons as well. So, because you don't want to be in much pain after the surgery itself. So yeah, really good question. Next one. What were your sleeve family like? What was your sleeve family like, I should say? I had a really good sleeve family experience. A lot of people do. So for those who don't know, a sleeve family are the other group of people who are going to have the operation usually around the same time as you. So it's usually the same day or a few days after. And you kind of go through the testing phase with them. And then afterwards, you have your surgery and you're recovering in the same ward at the same time. We were really lucky. We all kind of hit it off. We kind of created a group chat prior to meeting. Some of us were chatting back and forth, getting to know each other. I was lucky enough to kind of really get to know most of them prior to the surgery. And then when I was at the airport flying out, I don't know if you saw my other videos, but my experience was a little bit messed up because of the whole COVID-19. I ended up having to take a separate flight to my partner, so I was really scared to fly on my own to Thailand, a place I've never been to. And luckily for me, another girl who was waiting for me, she had seen me in my videos and came up to me and introduced herself, so I didn't feel so alone, and it was fantastic. At the hotel, I met the others. There were 5 of us in total, plus one extra support person and my partner. So we all bonded straight away. We ended up having one last dinner together. So what I mean by that is the night we were going to go into hospital, we all decided to go out to tea and ended up having a really beautiful time and, experiencing things together, because when you get over there, you feel the same. A lot of people are scared, a lot of people aren't sure if they're doing the right thing. So it's comforting to know that other people are there with you during that time, which I will be forever grateful for. We all still keep in contact, and we've kind of vowed to have a 1-year reunion, 1 year to the date that we had our surgery. So let's hope that carries through. I'm sure it will. And yeah, I think, we've got a really big bond for life, because we all went through such a major experience that, how can you not? So yeah, that's a really good question as well. What was the hospital like? The hospital was fantastic. So, I think when you tell people that you're going to go to Thailand to get surgery, everyone thinks, oh my God, like a backyard clinic or a clinic in a shopping center or something that's not very hygienic, which is completely opposite to what we experienced. If you are a member of the Destination Beauty Facebook group, you will know that people rave about the experience in the hospital. It is a private hospital over there, very hygienic, very clean. The way I describe it to my friends and family is that the nurses, the hospital staff, the doctors, everyone looks like they've just come off the set of Grey's Anatomy. They're all perfectly well groomed, and they all look immaculate. And I think that's just a representation of the pride they take in their work and how they look after people. Everyone was fantastic in the hospital. I can't recommend them enough. they're so great, you know. People are so caring and understanding, and they'll do anything for you. So yeah, have faith in them. You know, even the doctors with, you know, were straight up as doctors are, but my anaesthetist was very, very caring, and you know, I couldn't recommend them enough. You know, so if you're worried about that side of things, don't do your research. Was the language barrier hard? Not for me. I'm quite lucky in that I kind of grew up in a multi-cultural family and grew up in a very multicultural area of Sydney originally. And so, you know, accents and that don't faze me. I'm usually able to break them down. You know, and yeah, you are going to Thailand. Thai is their first language. Most of the hospital staff don't speak English, but there are a lot that do. And they all speak basic English. So you won't ever have any trouble, you know. I think for me, I found, you know, I was having a bit of a fever the first few days after surgery. So I had to ask for a fan, and, you know, I had to do a bit of signage, like fan to cool down, and they were fine, you know. So I don't think there's any trouble. What I will say though is have patience with them, because you know you are in their country, so if they don't understand you, don't get too frustrated no matter how you're feeling, because you are a guest in their country and they're trying to help you. So yeah, I didn't think the language was a big issue. So yeah. Do you remember much after surgery? Thankfully not really. If you see my previous video, I came out of surgery, they woke me up, and apparently I was taking off the air masks and ended up getting the tubes put into me because I was just being stubborn. Thankfully, I don't remember much. I do remember being in pain, not gonna lie, and they came and gave me morphine, which made me even more ill. But, you know, I don't really remember that much from that day. I do remember the lead up to the surgery and falling asleep, and then after that, it's all like bits and pieces, to be quite honest. So I don't really remember that much, unfortunately. Well, maybe fortunately, I suppose. How is your recovery? Yeah, I'm going really well. Like I said, it's been 7 weeks. Have had ups and downs, but luckily nothing too major. Just a few periods here and there where I've found that I couldn't eat certain foods. So like steak, I love steak, and hopefully I'll get back to eating it, but I found the texture to be a little bit too tough for me. So for those who don't know, when you do go over to Destination Beauty, the hospital and doctors over there recommend that you do start eating solid foods again, but kind of gradually get into it. You're not on a soft food diet for weeks and weeks on end. So when I came back, you know, I tried to have a little bit of steak, didn't agree with me, and yeah, that's really all I've had struggles with. I've had days when I'm really tired. I found for a long time I was getting really tired around 1, 2 o'clock and kind of needed to lie down, but that's gotten a lot better since then. So yeah. Have you been sick after eating? Okay, cool. There we go. Yes, I have. I think everyone will. So I had the experience where I think I've chewed too fast and swallowed too fast and not chewed enough. So when I've had that experience, for example, the steak, it's a really weird feeling. It's like a feeling you get like where something's like stuck down your throat and you feel like you need to vomit it up. What I have found hard is not being able to have water straight after eating or during eating, because that fills up your stomach and you can expand the stomach. So, you know, when you kind of feel like you have that stuck feeling, you just really want to drink some water. I have found that it's come up, unfortunately, but that's good because you feel really good after that does happen. But try not to let that happen. So you try to chew slowly and swallow little portions so that you don't get sick. I have found when I've eaten, I had a soup back in Thailand. Actually, my last night in Thailand, I had a soup and it didn't agree with me, came straight back up. It was actually not a very nice experience. So I actually coughed and it kind of fell out, because you don't feel like you're vomiting like in the normal sense. You don't, normally when you vomit, you feel like your stomach constricting. I didn't feel that at all. It just kind of fell out. So luckily it was home. So, you know, and you also get frothing or foaming of the mouth. So that's usually when, you know, you kind of don't chew as much and you kind of have that saliva in your throat, and it just kind of comes up, and you do feel better after doing it. Like I said, just be really mindful of how you eat and what you eat. Listen to your stomach. That's the number one rule. Your stomach will tell you when something's not feeling right, and you'll know never to have that again. So yeah. How do you eat now? Oh, sorry, actually question is, what do you eat now? What do I eat now? So usually my routine starts in the morning. I have like 2 eggs that I cook. I fry 2 eggs. Have that, I mean, being part Latino, I have it with Tabasco sauce. Just 2 little portions, and I just eat that. I find that's really easy for me to eat, and I usually can make it really quickly. So, you know, if I'm in a hurry to go out or whatever, or start work, I should say, at my desk here, it's real quick. So I have that in the morning. I usually wait about an hour and then start having my water until about 11, 12-ish. I'll stop, and then the next hour after that I will then start eating a meal. Usually that's leftovers from the night before, so I try to eat tuna, chicken, fish, and a little bit of meat or deli meat. If I do get snackish, I try to have a little bit of deli meat, so like salami or ham, and some pickles, because I love pickles. And you know, a little bits of avocado, not too much, just like slice here and there. Also, you know, cruskettes. I've only just been introduced to them and never had them in my life. I know it's surprising, but I found that they're really good just to have as a snack. I don't really feel peckish, so I'm quite lucky there. But yeah, that usually tides me over, and then I'll wait for about half an hour to an hour and then have my water again. Usually around 6:37 after I come back from my walk, I have my dinner, and that's usually like the meats I just previously mentioned. So yeah, so that's what I eat now. I do have coffee again, so I'll just show you. I have a very small coffee nowadays. But I don't have it with caramel syrup anymore. I usually just have like skinny lactose-free milk, and I usually have it just with like 1 little bit of sweetener. Do you miss any food? Yes and no. I used to love KFC a lot, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't really miss it anymore. And in fact, when I do smell it, I kind of feel a bit ill. So I don't really miss that. When I went to the drive-thru at McDonald's to get my coffee this morning, I actually looked at the menu and thought, I don't miss any of that. I used to love the Quarter Pounders, I used to love the Big Macs. Don't anymore. So that's been good for me. I do miss having steak, only because I love steak. But I don't really miss it in that I'm like sad about it. I was sad prior to flying over to have my surgery. Whenever I had my food funerals, I did feel sad, you know, so that's probably why it's such a fitting name. But you know, now I don't really miss anything. So yeah, I'm just taking every day as it comes. And I think after you've had the surgery, food changes to you. It doesn't become like a thing that you really want all the time. It becomes more of a luxury, or, you know, fuel really. So you kind of eat because you have to. I forget that I don't get hungry that much anymore, so I kind of force myself to eat. But yeah, I don't really miss anything at all. Was there anything in hindsight you wouldn't have? Not really. I mean, I kind of prepared myself mentally for everything that was about to come. So I don't think it really would have changed anything at all. So I can't really answer that one, to be quite honest with you. I think, you know, if you could go back in time and say to yourself when you were younger, don't eat that or don't eat this, you know, I probably would have listened to myself. Would you recommend this to others? Now, I know everyone's going to think that I'm going to say, yes, do it, it'll change your life. And yes, it will. But truth be told, I think I have to be honest in saying I wouldn't recommend to everyone, because not everyone can be in the right mindset to actually go and make that move. I think you have to be really, really prepared to take on something like this, because it's forever. You can't go back and get that extra piece of stomach. So I think I would recommend to everyone to go do your research, make sure you're supported, make sure that you're 100% focused and that you can do this. Also, do your homework. I find a lot of people don't do their homework, and once they have the surgery, they didn't know they should have this, or they didn't know they should have the multivitamins, you know, or, you know, they didn't know they couldn't eat this and that. So do your research and be 100% certain, because I think once you are 100% certain, then you are happier within yourself and you can make sure that you do the right decisions. So yeah, so that's all the questions that I have. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, you can reach out to my social media accounts, which I'll leave the links at the end of this video. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. And hopefully I won't make another video so long. And yeah, don't forget to love yourself. Keep safe, everyone. Bye. Hi Royal Family, I just thought I'd shoot a quick update just to add to the end of that video. I actually shot that about 2 weeks ago and I'm really sorry it's taken so long to get out. But to be truthful, I've just been kind of focusing on myself and making sure that I've been healthy, doing my walks. I'm now walking between 1.5 to 2 hours every day minimum, which is fantastic. I usually go morning for about 2 hours and then at night I try to go a little bit more with my partner and my dog. So we go for like another half hour to an hour. So that's about 3 hours every day I'm doing really. Anyway, and I'm feeling a lot better about myself. So mentally, you've got to kind of do these things just to kind of get into a rhythm and just to feel better about yourself, especially in the times that we're living in. So just to give you a little bit of an update about my weight loss, I've now lost about 18.5 kilos and that was on Wednesday. So today's Friday. So just 2 days ago, I lost 18.5 kilos. So that marked the 2-month anniversary, I guess you could say, since my surgery date. So that's a lot. And I'm not going to kid you, it's been really hard because, you know, you see other people doing so well and losing weight so quickly. And you kind of just think to yourself, why am I not losing the weight that quickly? You know, I'm doing the right things, I'm eating the right things, what's going wrong? But truth be told, everyone's different. And we all know this, we're all told this from the start and before we even get into the surgery process. So you just got to remember that you are different and that you're not like everyone else and it's going to take time. 2 months, I mean, come on, that's nothing really. It feels like a really long time, especially when you can't eat what you used to love eating before. But that's okay. I'm finding that, you know, I'm gradually getting there and I'm really excited about the next few months and see how I go and how my progress goes. So 18.5 kilos is pretty good. And when I kind of combine that with how serious I was getting with my pre-op just a few days before, that's a total of 21.5 kilos. So I'm really proud of myself. That's not too bad. So anyway, I just thought I'd quickly give you an update because the video I shot wasn't in real time as to when you'll be seeing this. So anyway, stay happy, stay healthy, make sure you love yourself and be kind to each other. Bye. Mwah.